Yo, what's up, man? What's happening with you? Pseudo Killer's back again. You know what I mean? This your host, Kent, aka Low. They call me Kick Dough sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put my boots behind me, but I mean, it is what it is, man. Sometimes they bring it back out, man. Look, we talking about this Illuminati thing. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and build back in the chat. Chockity, Choc Choco Kitty 7, what's up, man? I see you up in here early, man. But you know what I'm saying? What's going on, Cedric?
What it do? What it do? Peace to the chat. Peace, Kent. Peace, Chilimbre. Now we can talk a little bit about the Illuminati, separate fact from fiction, and have a little fun with a little
Yeah.
pop culture.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun one, man. We're gonna open that panel up early, man, to get y'all in there, man. So we can build on this thing, have some questions, get some questions answered. It was really motivated by a question Miss Lisa asked us in the Discord a couple of weeks ago about certain hands. They got them videos out there that's misinforming people about who's in the Illuminati and Beyonce and Jay-Z and all these other people or whatever, because they use certain hand signals. And then she saw like one of the people in the Olympics using the hand signal, and she was like, "Are they in the Illuminati?" And we was like, "Nah, that's yeah, you know what I mean. That's some different shit." But it's I said it would be a good conversation to have, though. You know what I mean, because a lot of people are going off of those crazy rabbit hole videos that's telling you everybody in the Illuminati. But Marcus, man, what's happening with you, man? I see you in here.
Yeah, peace, everyone. Peace, man. I think it'll be an interesting conversation. Getting into what was really going on, in history and what happened before. I think it'll be pretty, interesting. So I'm ready to get it when everybody else is.
Sure indeed, man. We're gonna let that chat build up some more, man. You know what I'm saying? We got Juju in the building, man. I see you in there. Uh Chuck Wu Igwe. You know what I mean? Probably just call you Chuck one for short, man. I can't pronounce that last name you got in there, man. Taj, what's happening with you? I know we was talking to Anthony earlier, man. He'll be in there or whatever, man. But yeah, we just gonna let that thing build on up, man. Desmond Gamble, I see you, man. What's going on with you? You said the Illuminati doesn't exist anymore. That's a good does the Illuminati still exist? I mean, are there still like little chapters or whatever that's a good question I think somebody will have, yo. What y'all say?
I tend to lean towards that also. My point, my perspective is that there is a factual element to what is considered the Illuminati, but what it has become in pop culture today is a far cry from, from what it actually is
Mm,
or was.
okay. What's happening with you, man? We see you in the building. You crept up in here, man. Snuck up in here on me. What's up,
Yeah,
man?
yeah. I'm up in here, man. What's good, brother? How you doing?
Man, we all good, man. We just having a little fun today, man, talking about this topic that everybody you hear it on your jobs, you hear it in school. You know what I mean? Everybody got something to say about it, but nobody really got the real history, the real origins of it when it come down to it. So we figure, just go ahead and inform the people, man, on what's going on with it. But you all right? What's
Hey,
happening with you?
nigga, I'm super good. Just finished playing some ball. You know how I do.
Oh, getting that ice, man. Soak them knees, man.
Nah, nigga, nah. I only played 4 games. I don't need all that. I'm good. I'll be straight by Sunday. But I'm going running. I'm gonna go running tomorrow though. So I'm all right. I'm all right. Knees don't hurt. I don't.
I'm gonna have to say I envy you every time I hear you talk about your athleticism. It was something I pride myself on until I had my stroke, which don't allow me to play ball and do that stuff anymore. But I walk
Oh
every
man.
day to keep my body fit and stuff like that. So I appreciate you putting in that work.
Hey, you got at least be able to punch somebody in the mouth.
Yeah, I can still do
Yeah.
that though.
Hey, work them shoulders, man. You mess around,
Yeah.
throw your old arm out.
Yeah, I'm saying if you stay, we made for running and walking and shit. So it's good to the worst thing you can do is just sit down and at the office, and yeah, you're gonna die quick. So you just gotta
One of
keep
these
moving.
days, one of these days,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a show and give my testimony as to how I pulled myself all the way back. I'm not supposed to be walking.
Wow.
I'm not supposed to be functioning. I pulled myself all the way back, and that story of what I did before I started working again. Man, I started doing construction work, climbing on buildings after having had a stroke,
Mm.
where the doctor said I'm not supposed to walk. I refused to stay in the wheelchair. I just got up and I just motivated myself, and
Think you went out,
Mental
said.
nigga.
Oh, did I? Hold on. Oh,
It
my
went
bad,
out.
John. Hold on. Let me see. I might have. No.
Nah.
That's his.
Man,
That's his signal. Yeah, I think your signal cutting up a little bit too, huh?
It's
Hey,
you. It can't be both of us, goddamn.
hey, Mark, you can hear me, bro? Or is that me?
Hell no,
I,
you can't.
I can hear you.
It sounds like both of y'all were cutting. Both of
Wild
them was
ass
cutting up
control.
just now.
I'm
Already,
cutting up
man.
now.
Nah, you good now. You good.
I'm
I'm
cutting
saying
up
about
now, bro.
5. Nah, you good. About 10 seconds ago, I thought you was cutting up a little bit.
Oh
Zane
man.
Montego. Zane Montego, what's happening, man? I see you snuck up in here too. Sister Sapphire in the building. Jody Breeze. What's up with you? Yeah, just getting a couple of more in. But
Yeah, we about to cuss out Chief. No, I'm tripping. niggas,
hey,
niggas be piling the building. We cuss out Chef and that nigga pile
yeah.
up.
Yeah, we should have put that in the title, yo. Shit, they came here. Let them build on up and then just steer them in a whole nother direction.
Yeah, nigga, got y'all niggas. Now we know.
You know what it is.
Yeah, now we know.
But it's like that. It was like that back in school, man. You know, when people start screaming fight, yo, that's when everybody came running out the woodwork. Start circling around people and shit. You know what I mean? Nigga might not even wanted to fight, but now you got to fight because everybody
Yeah,
done ran to the circle.
yeah, you gotta fight.
Yeah.
Now just punch somebody in the mouth in the crowd, nigga. Why you come up here trying to watch?
Hey, look, but it's different now. Everybody got the camera phone, so now it's like shit, boy. It's a different type of pressure on these kids nowadays, man.
I didn't even know they was still fighting. Yo, last time I checked, they was shooting.
Man,
Man, shit.
yeah, it ain't no joke, boy.
Man.
Hey, said you back? Said you let me see if you sounding all right, man.
yeah, sorry about that, I fell
Oh
off.
yeah, you good. Yeah, you Gucci.
Yeah, but that was I was saying, like, yeah, so keeping that body fit and keeping moving, yeah, that's important. It's good that you do that, and that you say it. It's motivational.
You talking about aunt, right?
Yeah, I'm talking
Oh,
about
okay.
get it in, running, staying fit. It's really motivational. So when I hear him talk about it, I have a tinge of envy because that old man is outrunning me and outballing me. But okay, I can give him that.
Yeah, it's about definitely about exercising, man. Keeping that blood flowing, drinking that water and shit, man. Definitely. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. Shit, we got about
But
21 in the building, real quick. Hold on. Oh, go ahead, say it.
yeah, I was just gonna put a question to the chat. We had a comment about the Illuminati; they no longer exist. I wanted to know with the ones if who believes or in the chat or assumes that the Illuminati still exists and is responsible for all the pop social the pop culture claims that being made about this elite group.
Mm-hmm. And do
Yeah,
you
for the one
believe
in
and
chat.
and do you believe they working in your government? Like it's all intertwined in your government. They pick who the presidents are and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because when you start down one rabbit hole, there's no end to it. there's also the religious aspect of it that is clearly anti Egyptian. Let me say that. I'm not going to use the word African because that's going to open up a can of worms. But you can obviously see that it's an anti-Egyptian push when it comes to the religious rhetoric around so-called Illuminati. You know,
Right.
the eye of Horus, and they use the pyramid symbol, and it's on the back of the dollar bill, and you know, we heard it all.
Now the back of the dollar is an interesting thing or whatever, because I don't know if y'all did this back in the day, but you know, when you do the what's the name of that star, yo? When you draw the star or whatever, and it connect the letters and it spell out Masons. Y'all ever did that? Y'all ain't never
I've
did that?
seen all that.
You ever did the burning towers on it?
I did the
The
towers.
burning
I did the
towers,
towers
when
before.
you fold, yeah,
Yeah, I
when
did
you
the twin
fold the
towers
$20
before.
bill, you get the burning towers.
Folded into a plane. Folded into a plane, and you get the yeah. That had me for a minute back in the day. You fold it into a plane, and
Causation.
you got the one building, and then you do something else. Another, I think it's a 10. What is it? The 5, 10, and the 20. And when you fold it into a
Mhm.
plane, it shows the twin towers going down in chronological order. It was crazy. I ain't gonna lie, they had me for a second with that.
No, it's just I
Um,
don't know about the chronological order. I thought it was just showing burning. The shit was retarded.
showing the buildings burning, yeah.
And who
But
sits
I mean, it
around
was
again,
and does that though, yo? Human beings are interesting.
yeah, but
this
I
is
mean,
a
it's
classic case
you.
of
You
I can't tell.
causation correlation fallacy. Okay, it's spelled out Mason because of that specific order in which we choose to draw a quote unquote star. But what would the Star of David have to do with the Eye of Horus in the Egyptian pyramid? and and it spells out Mason. I mean, those
hey,
things are causation correlation fallacy.
hey, Mark, can you pull that up real quick, yo? I know you said you was at your laptop, right? I just want
Yeah.
y'all to see what I'm talking about. The do the Mason on the back of the dollar bill
All right, hold
when
on.
you draw the
Yeah, with the
star.
5 pointed star, the Star of David.
Yeah, man, it just that blew my mind when matter of fact a Muslim dude showed me that junk one day, bro. Like that was my first time even thinking anywhere outside the box, down the rabbit hole, anything. A dude from the Nation of Islam came and substituted for my math teacher in class or whatever one year. And man, yeah, he was telling us all kind of rabbit hole stuff, man. We just got sucked in, yo. Crazy. But yeah, man.
Yeah, that would be fun to pull that up. But again, even if like, I mean, what is that implying? What are we supposed to garner from that piece of information, or the way that DC is designed?
Mm-hmm.
You heard that one? That the way Washington is designed to resemble Egypt, or the, the something like
I
that.
think I did. Yeah, I think I did. I did see that before. Yeah, you're right. I did see that before.
Hey, I found the Twin Towers and I found this other one. Which one you say you want me to find again?
The on the back of the dollar it spell out Masons when you connect the points of the star or whatever when you draw a star on the joint.
Oh,
And then you got the little inscription at the bottom of the pyramid, and it was like it was 1776, like the Roman numerals or whatever. It's spelled out a certain date. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe not, but you got it.
yeah. Share my screen right quick.
All right, hold on. Let me put it on there. Oh, you can't make that no bigger, huh?
Let me see. Hold on.
Had to zoom all the way in on that joint, bro. Gideon, what's up, boy? I see you. Wade Dirash, what's happening? Say Kamala Harris is Illuminati.
Nah, I can't make it no bigger. But they can see it. You draw the two triangles and it spell out Mason. Mason right there.
Now you got to admit that is kind of a strange coincidence.
Nah, ain't no
Being that you got the OCNI. You know, I'm gonna just let my pseudo side speak for a little bit. You know what I mean? I know it's just it might just be patternicity, but it might could have been somebody playing around at the whoever designed this joint. But you got a spelling out Masons, you got that star right there, and then you got the inscription at the bottom of the pyramid that say whatever it say. The 1776 joint. And 1776 was what?
I think that was the founding of the Veravati Illuminati.
Okay.
And I think it was when that the Civil War. I mean, that's when the Revolutionary War kicked off too, I think.
I'm not even sure, yo.
I think that was too, but that ain't, that ain't
right. I'm just saying, we just playing, just seeing what it's, you know what I mean? I'm thinking like how do people think, and it's very convincing when you tell people that's not really keen on how to how to go and check for sources on these things and how to debunk these types of things. So I mean, it's a very easy trap to fall into, especially at a young age. When you're a teenager or early, young adult. You know what I'm saying? And you hearing these things from somebody that sounded convincing, or watching videos like what was the one? What was the video? Damn, I can't remember this one. Zeitgeist. When you're watching videos like Zeitgeist and all of that, it's very easy to fall for these types of patterns or whatever because it looks like it's intentional. But yeah, you can take that down if you want, man.
I mean that the patterns are in reality an evolutionary process. I mean, the human brain in and of itself sees patterns better than any AI computer they found so far. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take that in consideration too.
Right.
And so we see patterns here. Let me pull this up right quick. We see patterns in everything.
Yep.
Here you go. You got it up. Yeah.
We look for patterns. We make faces of everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the believing brain. It's part of, how we evolved in the wilds of Southeast Africa, developed these pattern recognition for hunting, right, and gathering, and so it's so well that it works so well that in the day's time we see patterns when there's no patterns at all.
Yeah.
Share my screen right quick, kid.
Oh, okay, hold on a minute. All right, gotcha. Yeah, and I know it's a book by Michael Shermer called The Believing Brain, and he talks about how we see patterns and things that don't really mean anything, but because of pattern, I think he called it patternicity. He was saying, that's how a lot of these conspiracies come up because people are seeing patterns and putting things together that don't belong together. That you're connecting dots that really some things are just coincidences and some things is hoaxes. But what you got up here, Mark?
So this is Psychology Today. It's one of the magazines I like to read. At least it gives you some insight into some studies that's coming out. Anyway, it's just something I like to read online. This one is why the human brain is so good at detecting patterns, and they're going to touch on these 3 points. Right, humans can't help but look for patterns and find structure and information coming their way. The neocortex, the outermost layer of the brain, is found only in mammals and is responsible for the human's ability to recognize patterns. And although computer algorithms can spot patterns an algorithm has not yet been developed to outperform the human mind. So that means even with the development of AI and so forth and so on. Well, this was written in 2021, so I'm not sure if it's still applicable today. But as the time this article was written, the human mind, as far as seeing patterns, outpaced any computer, and we see it in everything, right? And so some of these patterns then become ritualistic to us, right? So we develop religions out of these patterns and symbolisms inside these patterns, right? And so you see that. So this is a beautiful article. I'm gonna put it in there. I think y'all can just read it whenever y'all feel like it.
Right.
Dealing with that about the human brain and patterns. And so we could be looking at a store sign and see whatever we can, you know what I'm saying?
But then it's even more powerful when you got it backed by the propaganda. When you got movies and TV shows that are feeding into these beliefs about the conspiracy, because they so good. You know, you got these actors so good that they're believable, and a person will walk away from a movie feeling like, yo, these folks trying to tell us something, yo. Like they saying it without saying it. They putting it right in our face. You know what I'm saying? How many times you ever heard that? Like, yo, when you see it in the movie, it's coming. You know what I mean?
You see, and like we were talking the other day about the technology that we have today, and I correlated it to a lot of the stuff that we were seeing in Star Trek back in the 60s, right? FaceTime and cellular devices and hand scanners that doctors use and these type of things. We're seeing that technology not come out today, right? So again, where you're making that correlation, right? So you can do that in one sense where you have actual quote unquote tangible evidence of things in movies coming to pass, right? And then you see the conspiracies, or you see nuances. For example, there was a show on Netflix that indicated that had a black president just before Barack Obama, right? Or how we keep seeing how they use the Simpson characters or things that happen in that series as coming to pass, right? That they keep saying the Simpson predicted this, the Simpson predicted this. They even have a Kamala Harrison prediction with
Right.
black female with the same
Hey,
clothes
look,
on, right?
it said now I think they just starting to draw things that's happening and try to say the Simpsons had this out back in 1999. Like, nah, you know they just drew that shit. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But people believe it. Why? Because there were one or two coincidences that was actually the case, and now people continuously believe it as if you got to look at the Simpsons. They're predicting the future. So now you tie it into the Illuminati, and that it's actually being manipulated, right? Because we have the deep state, and there you go down the rabbit hole.
Right.
Another problem is that some of it is partially true. There was a group that was referred to as Illuminati, right? And
Yeah,
so,
and
Several.
before you get to that, Mark, we about to dive in right there. Let me shout out a few more people in the chat real quick. Let me see. We got Ramon Beer just joined. Got Ladosha Wright. We see you, man. Thank you for joining us tonight. Who else? Y'all see anybody else new in there? I think Brooklyn D. I think I saw you was in there a little earlier. Lamar Pope. What's happening with you, man? Appreciate y'all joining in, man. Yeah, we getting into this Illuminati joint, man. We're gonna break down the history. And before you start, Mark, let me introduce Gideon, man. See you in here, yo.
Peace. What's
Pseudo
up,
killer.
man? How y'all
Pseudo
doing,
killer
bro?
army.
What you
What's
say
happening
with
with you?
video?
I'm in here, man, chilling with the fam, listening to the show, quick thing before I meet up. 1776 is, I think, based on the July 4th, 1776, the independence, the Declaration of Independence was signed that date, I think. That's what that represents on the dollar bill.
Got you. Okay.
And as far as the Illuminati being like real shit, it's several groups. that would consider themselves as such, and they went under different names as well, but they were, you know, known to be as such.
Sure, indeed. But go ahead, Marcus, man, break that thing on down, man. Let's go ahead and bust the thing out.
So Gideon's right. There was a numerous groups that were referred to at different periods of time as the Illuminati. Most of the time, they're talking about the ones that linked up with the Masons, with the Masonic lodges in Europe, and became somewhat powerful. But the that's the one that was in Germany. That's the one that most people, when you refer to them, at least in movies, that's who they're referring to. Those people who were started by the hold on a second. They were started by what's this guy's name? Man. Yeah, Jesuit priest, right? So he was a guy who was part of the Jesuits. He left, became a professor, and his goal was to ultimately replace Christianity with the Enlightenment age of reason, right? So if you know the age of Enlightenment, 200 years throughout Europe, in which they kind of looked through a more humanist view of the world. Most people, at least some people, make the argument that it was really based on them meeting indigenous people around the globe and seeing different ways of living that led them to question their own existence. A good book of that is The Dawn of Everything. He touches on it a little bit, but there's other books that touch on it too. And so the guy who started this specific one is called the Bavarian Illuminati. His name was Adam Wispowitz, something like that. And they what they wanted to do is, so if you know anything about most Christianity, they have something that is referred to as the original sin, right? And that sin is passed down. And so humanists don't have that view of humanity as being sinful or unclean and needing that. And so they wanted to bring in rationality and reason as the governing principles and not Christianity or any type of religion.
Right.
So he went on a recruiting thing, and he recruited a lot of people during the Age of Enlightenment, over 1776 to like 1786, 87. And most of them teamed up with other smaller organizations such as the Masonic lodges. And that's what they did. And they worked to kind of hinder and limit the religious authorities of their day. And so this is probably the group that you're talking about. They the ones who had secret handshakes. They had a specific code they would write in that you need a decipherment to understand. And a lot of them were in the upper echelons of society. They spread as far as Italy to Denmark to Paris. And so they were all across Western Europe. When the church and authorities got wind of what they were trying to do, they ended up killing some, stripping a lot of them of their titles and power, and kind of disbanded them. And so that's what happened. So there's a legitimate group that refer to themselves. Remember that Illuminati, in essence, just means enlighten, light, to illuminate.
Right.
And so they were thinking that human reasoning, right, could illuminate the conditions of humanity. And they wanted to do that by removing Christianity and mostly all structured religion.
Superstition. They fundamentally wanted to to get rid of the superstition that that governed their time period. I mean, this was the time when you had witch hunts and these type of religious persecution taking place, and intellectualism was frowned upon. Right, it was all related to the work of the gods, and the power of the church was the ruling force in most of Western Europe. You had the 80-Year War, which was fought by the Netherlands to free themselves of Spanish rule, which was enforced by the Catholic Church. So a lot of these intellectual groups were forced on the ground and conducted their activities in hiding.
Indeed, I think that's. Hey, argue. You about to say something?
There's a
Oh,
lot
he
of
might
noise in the
can't.
background.
Yeah, he probably can't. Hold on, let me see. Hey, you can hear me?
You
Nah,
said I
he
got
can't
mute
come.
out.
Yeah, you. I don't know if you about to say something or not.
No, I'm wait till I say. That's
All
my
right.
favorite subject.
Oh yeah. I know you was saying some interesting stuff a little earlier. Well, a couple of weeks ago or whatever. That I want you to get in. But man, make sure y'all hit that like button, man, and subscribe to the channel if not already. I know most of y'all already are. But Yasa, I see you just joined, man. What's up, Rayshawn L? What's going on? So, I think we was talking a few moments ago about the movies, man. How many of y'all saw that movie? What was the name of it again? With Tom Hanks, Da
Dan
Vinci,
Brown's
the Da
The
The
Vinci
Da
Da
Vinci
Code.
Vinci
Code.
Code.
Yeah, how many of y'all saw Da Vinci Code, and how many of y'all saw the sequel to that? What was that? Now I just had the second one. What was
Angel
that
and
one?
Demons.
Angels and Demons. Yeah, love both of those movies. You know what I mean? And those were very convincing movies. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw both of them. Actually, I read both books too.
yeah. Oh, I didn't read the books. But I did see those movies. You know,
I
one. Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of my favorite pastimes is reading historical fiction. So the Brown books are as in within that same realm that they are historical fiction. So there are terms and places and events that are quote unquote factual, but the core of the story in it of itself is fictional.
Yeah, you know what? I like the Nicolas Cage National Treasures too. They talk about them too. The secret societies
Hmm.
hiding treasure, collecting them,
Mm,
and you leaving little Masonic and clues and all like that. Them Jones is all right too. But I watched the Dan Brown John. He was supposed to be doing a third one. I don't know what happened to that one.
but a third
And
one for
then
you talking about the Da Vinci Code series?
Yeah,
Yeah, that would have been good. That'd have definitely been a good one.
then you have the other spectrum of the Illuminati and conspiracies with the movies like Eyes Wide Shut with um what's his name, with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Who remembers that one?
I ain't see that one. You said
nah, I
Eyes
ain't
Wide
The,
Shut.
the
yeah.
parties, the ritualistic parties that you need to wear a mask and you get invited and you go to a secret location, and what it is, it's a it's a ritualistic sacrifice of a young maiden. You know, these underground death cults and worshiping of Satan, etc., etc. These are some of the conspiracies that hang around. For example, anyone that dies is a sacrifice. A sacrifice to what and who? Especially as an atheist, for me, that stuff is wild. The thing that people would require blood sacrifices and these type of conspiracies.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, one of the jumps that had me go. So once you get one conspiracy group or Illuminati type group, you start searching for others. So the same Muslim dude that was showing us all the stuff on the back of the dollar, they had this book or whatever. It was called "Ruled by Secrecy" by Jim Mars. If y'all know who Jim Mars is, bona fide pseudo, bona fide conspiracy theorist, just the whole nine. But it was talking about like the Trilateral Commission, the Freemasons, the Rockefellers, all of that
Bilderberger
type of
Group.
stuff. Bilderberg, you know what I mean? So what? Look, so once you go down that rabbit hole, yo, shit, depending on who you run
Yeah.
into and meet, boy, it might not be no turning back. But
Shout out to Alec Jones.
oh, Alex Jones, yeah, if you run into him, yep, he another one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they would have you if you go down that rabbit hole and you are not anchored in things like logic and reasoning and actually questioning these conspiracies, you're going to find yourself double checking everything and seeing symbolism in everything.
mm-hmm.
Professor Griff with the
Oh,
symbolisms used by companies, the Saturn,
yo,
the
he one of the
Saturnalia worship, and oh man,
man. Listen, I saw Professor Griff. I went to one of his joints live, yo, and that he one of the worst, yo. He a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Cool brother, but golly, yo, he will send you down that rabbit hole so damn, man, listen.
now,
Like,
and
yeah.
and I don't think Professor Griff, for example, we would quote as one at somebody that's scamming. I sincerely believe
Oh, yeah.
that these people believe this stuff.
Yeah, man, he'll have you think you preparing for a war, yo. Yeah, you buying all kind of ammo, weapons, get it, man. Make sure you carry your fork with you, man. You know what I'm saying? You never know when it might go down. He one of them type, like a survival
Yeah,
type, you know what I mean?
you gotta have your burner phone with you because they
Man,
burn
listen.
down his house and they tapping his phones and because he's exposing the symbolism and yeah, man. I've been down the rabbit hole. For me, a lot of it was entertaining, and like you say, there are some stuff that make you go, I wonder. But at the end of the day, like it needs to make sense, and it really doesn't. Like
It,
um,
National Treasure
the
is
it
another movie. National
it's
Treasure.
it's crazy because it seemed like, so it started off like what y'all said, some people that was enlightening people, and they, they swayed away from religion and all that. Then it got spooked out, and then it worked its way into the black community as a whole nother. Like we got deeper in the rabbit hole, scene like to me than the white folks had started with. Which I,
coming into the conscious community and delving into the Kemet and the Egyptian culture and this type of thing, and you contrast that to how Egyptian symbolism is viewed in pop culture, and again, predominantly from a religious perspective, it is wild. It is absolutely wild. So you would see a brother wearing an ankh or have the Eye of Horus tattooed or on a shirt, and we would associate that with something completely positive, completely uplifting, especially in our community. And then to see that being viewed as something utterly evil and something to get away from in popular culture is wild for me. That's something I often look at and go like, look at the contrast.
mm,
So Jay-Z, for example, holding up a pyramid, which is an Egyptian symbolism. I have no idea if he's doing that within that context, right? It could be a triangle symbolizing a 360 or whatever, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
I don't know what he represents, but the fact that if it is a pyramid that he is holding up, which we have embraced as part of being indigenous African culture, to
yeah.
see popular culture seeing that as something to be despised,
hmm
yeah, mm, mm,
It
you,
seemed
you
like
know, yeah,
it seemed like hip hop, like like people started really claiming that everybody in hip hop that was successful was part of the Illuminati. And so you started seeing, like, when people doing poses for pictures or album covers and things of that nature, any little hint of a hand signal that looked like they were pointing, they held their hands together a certain way, like you couldn't escape it. Everybody was part of the Illuminati, yo. Every hand signal, every damn, like, you could be shaking somebody's hand and look, they shake a hand. Look how the thumb is like right there.
Yeah,
It's
look
like,
how you put the thumb.
golly.
Look how you put the thumb. You see why do they need to cover the left eye? You see, yeah, there you go again he's covering the left eye. He's showing them that he is pop and he is down. He's with the Illuminati. See, he needs to show
Yeah.
that symbolism. But make it make sense. If they are down, if they've been recruited, quote unquote, to this secret cult, right? Why would they need to express symbolisms to people that already know that they're in the cult?
Right. And if it's a secret society, then how everybody know about it?
Exactly.
Or if it's a secret, if it's a secret, how everybody know? Like, any John on YouTube can damn figure it out. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
See, LeBron James is part of the Illuminati too.
Yeah,
Because when he
anybody
gets on the
successful.
basketball court, he needs to do that ritual with the powder, right? That is a sign that he's down. Like, are you people crazy?
Yeah, it's like so it started making black people turn on wealthy black people, because you can't get wealthy unless you down with some kind of a secret society cult that's doing evil things and just messing up the world and all kind of, like, yeah, it's weird, man. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Jew, can you put that link in the chat for me, Jew? Well, go ahead, say. I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, it is anti-success driven. Everyone that had achieved some sort of success must have sacrificed somebody or something along the way, and they use the most fallout cases to make their point. You know what I mean? So they're gonna Disney is the most evil organization on the planet, and all of these conspiracies over and over again. And at the end of the day, to what end? What is the end objective? So something that started out as enlightenment, um, 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 secular humanism that was forced underground. A lot of our societies today are structured around these concepts of secular humanism. Um, we still now it has become something that is dark and negative and the worst of the worst, and everything is connected to that. Remember when we had the Bush and Kerry administrations, that they were part of the Yale and fraternity, the underground. And remember that movie that came out about Yale
Skull and Bones.
Skull,
You talking about the
Skull and
the
Bones, and oh man, and they go on and on and on. Nothing is substantiated. All the claims, all the prophecies and the claims they make, once they prove to be false or they don't come through, they have another rationale behind why it didn't happen, or they move the goalpost again. I mean, at a certain point, you just have to apply logic and reason and ask yourself, what's the end objective? I mean, I used to love to watch Alex Jones. I mean, the owl, remember that secret location that all the presidents go to, and all the high society influential people, the billionaires club, and they go and they worship the owl. They have
Yeah,
the
no.
burning of the owl ceremony. It's a bunch of wild stuff.
Yeah, I know I was looking at the comments. Taj mentioned the boule. We've been hearing about the boule, and I think that was like a black thing, wasn't it? Like, people
Yeah,
that was
the
part of the boule was like the black wealthy people.
black
Hold on, we
bougies
got,
of Atlanta.
yeah, man. Solar Mind, man. What's happening with you, man? Thank you for joining us. How you doing today, brother?
Hold on 1 second while I mute out.
All right.
Soul of Mine in the building, the conspiracy man 101 is gonna put us straight. And let us know that the pseudo killers are leading the crowd astray, trying to make us believe that none of this stuff is true, which means we're a part of the Illuminati as well. Let's hear it. What it
Oh
do,
man.
Solomon?
If I'm part of Illuminati, they forgot to cut my check, man. I need to go and
Yeah,
talk
I'm
to
waiting
the
on that
human
check,
resources.
yo.
Where the human resources for the Illuminati? I need that. Go ahead. Go ahead, Solomon. What's up, man?
Chilling. Well, I'm just tuning in. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all talking about the Illuminati, so I'm assuming since I know kind of the culture of this platform that y'all pretty much saying that is fairy tales and it don't exist, right?
Yeah.
No,
They said it.
we didn't say it was fairy tales. We talked about where some of them started from in some regard.
He talking
Whether
about if it exists now. But go ahead, Mark. I didn't mean to cut you, Bill.
whether it exists now as people and their conspiracy theories put it is different. Sometimes some conspiracy theories have part truth to them. So
Right. Okay, so I guess we could start by saying, now, when you say Illuminati, right, what exactly initially do you believe it was?
there were multiple groups that were considered the Illuminati. So which one are you referring to?
Let's deal with the one in Bavaria.
Yeah, that's the age of enlightenment reasoning. We talked about that earlier. Anti-religious institutions, reason rules.
So, what was it designed specifically for?
Destroy Christianity.
Okay, so when you look at the Illuminati, well, all the Illuminati is pretty much a group of people that believe they have some secrets, and they create a secret society centered around that with a hidden agenda. That would be the commonality out of the Illuminatis, because that's why they call them the Illuminator ones. Like they're the ones that have the knowledge. So we have made reference.
Agenda was?
Huh?
What would you say the hidden agenda was?
I guess specifically it's for world domination. So like you said, at the point in time, Christianity was a world power. So they were trying to find ways of dismantling Christianity, but it wasn't specifically, that was just the world power at the time. They just trying to control, you got these group of people that's trying to control the planet. So they form secret societies. They have secret information initially. They have secret information that they feel as though make them above the average person that don't have that information.
Are we still talking about? Hold on. Are we still talking about the German group?
Well, I'm just saying, Illuminati. They call themselves Illuminati because they feel as though they are illuminated, and the reason why they feel as though they're illuminated is because they have what they believe is hidden information that the common person don't have, and then they form a specific agenda behind the information that they have, and that information, or their agenda is centered around world domination. So that's how you identify the Illuminati. And I mean, if you're looking for a group that call themselves today Illuminati, I mean, it's already out there, Illuminati. So, they may not call themselves Illuminati today, but there is a group of people, that feel as though they have certain knowledge and are trying to control the planet.
So I wanna just ask you this: what about the secret societies in West Africa?
What about them?
Are they considered the Illuminati as well?
I wouldn't consider them to be the Illuminati because they, like I said, I don't really see them planning things for world domination. I don't really see them on the global scale trying to dominate the planet. So now, like, you know, I could start like a secret group, like, you know, me, you, and a couple other guys, and we have our little thing where we kind of, chill every Friday, and kind of put our money together and get a business or chill. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. No, it's these people feel as though they got secret knowledge. They got money, influence, and power, and they have an agenda behind it. Their agenda will be ultimately for world domination.
World domination in what sense? A political sense, an economic sense, a subjugation of peoples? Because out of the Enlightenment came things like democracy, came things like human rights, property. These are all concepts that came out of the age of Enlightenment, where philosophy and humanism became paramount. Now, the process in which this manifested itself, of course, they were fighting ignorance, and they were fighting the state-sponsored religion. At this time in European history, the church had the most power all throughout Europe. And so these people were persecuted. I mean, even scientists were persecuted to the point for speaking against religious foundations and concepts. So out of this enlightenment came democracy. Out of this concept came human rights. Came these type of concepts which didn't exist in Europe at the time. So in which sense of world domination are you talking about?
Well, you can deal with the different secret societies, but specifically the one that's in power now. Like I said, they use different aspects.
What secret societies in power now? How do you know?
Well, the Bilderberg Group is a secret society.
Yeah, but how do you know? Are you in the society?
No.
So then it can't be still a secret, can it? If everybody know about it?
No. See, the thing is, people call it the Bilderberg Group. They don't really know the name. That's what people call it. They just know that. They just know that people. So wait. I mean, if you're trying to understand, if they call it's a secret society because we don't know what they're doing and what they're saying. We don't know. We know that they meet up. They have security out there to,
And so we don't know what they're doing, but we know.
Oh, wait. Oh,
that's what I was about to.
I'm just trying to. I'm not trying to argue. I'm just trying to follow.
No.
We don't know what they're doing, but we know they rule the world.
Well, when you look at the people that are in the Bilderberg Group, they're kings and queens of nations. They're the people that control finance. They're the people that control media. They're the people that control the banks and so.
But you got pictures of them.
And they couldn't just and if a few of them do get together, they couldn't just be having a regular business meeting on something regular.
Right. So what I'm saying is that people record them meeting up. They don't know what they're talking about, though. They don't know what they're talking about in the meetings. They don't know. They call them the Bilderberg Group because when people first found out about them, they was meeting at a hotel, I believe, called Bilderberg. And
Yes,
so they refer to them as the Bilderberg. They don't know the actual name. So I mean, if we're talking like, what I'm saying, I understand.
I want to make sure I understand. This all powerful group that rules the world allowed themselves to be videotaped or pictured going into a secret meeting that no one's supposed to know about. but they know about it. Is that the logic we're using here?
Well, you're talking to try to disprove. Just look
No,
into it.
I'm just trying to get your logic on why you
No,
believe it.
no. I just told you though. I just told you that they're a secret society because we don't know what they're talking about. And you're going back into, well, you could see them going into the meeting. You could see them, these people. So you're not trying to hear what I'm saying. You're trying to dispute what.
Brother Solomon, if I may ask you, so there's meetings going on all over the world every day that we don't know about, right?
Hold on a second.
Hold on. Let me finish.
I didn't finish what I was saying though.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, okay.
No, go ahead and get it out. My bad.
Go ahead.
Know what they're talking about. These people have influence and power. We don't know what they're talking about. So that's why they're a secret group. We don't know their name. We don't know their agenda. We don't know what they're doing. So that's why that would be considered a secret society. But go ahead.
So so there's meetings going on around the world every day, all day that we know nothing about. Secret meetings behind closed doors. Shit, we have meetings that don't nobody know about. Will we be considered a secret society group that's trying to take over the world? No. You just don't know what the hell we talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I think the problem is whoever these people are seeing going in meetings and buildings and stuff, instead of just saying, yo, we don't know what they're doing in there, they wanna give it a meaning. They want to give it something, to give it some kind of understanding, to feel like that's who's fucking up our world. Yo, that's the people right there that's planning all of these bombings and tearing shit up. But we really, like, how can people claim that when they already admitting they don't know who these people are, they don't know what they talking about, they don't know even if it's a meeting. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, I understand your point, but I mean the fact of the matter is like somebody has to be a group of people consuming the majority of the natural resources on the planet. Somebody got to be talking about something. If you have different nations being subjected to powers, superpowers, somebody got to be saying something. If you're talking about banking, international finance, military might, politics, somebody got to be talking about.
You cut out,
Just happening.
you cut out a little bit, bro.
Soul of mine, the Illuminati
so you saying that? Well,
you saying too much now.
Just to entertain your just to entertain your logic, that's what you say. Just to entertain your logic. Well,
they cut your bill. The Illuminati cut your bill, brother. You cut out like halfway through. I don't think they want you to get out what you was putting out, nigga. You putting out too much. But go ahead. We gonna let you rock though. We gonna let you rock.
Figure out the code, yo, Solomon. You figured out the code.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good now, brother.
They got you. The system is scrambled.
Okay, yeah, right. Illuminati got me. I mean, it's all good. It's all good because I know niggas is sleep out here. But like the point is that we can sit back and say, well, okay, it ain't them. Okay, let's entertain, like you say, your logic. It's not them.
Man.
Somebody is having meetings. Somebody is doing, because we clearly see that there are groups of people and families that control the mass majority of the resources on the planet. We could clearly see when you're looking at politics, whether it's local or international, that you have groups of people, PACs, deals being made, and you see from military, finance, and politics that specific groups of people have an interest. And if people violate that interest, then they pay consequences. You clearly see that. So if people are trying to suggest that, well, this is just happening by coincidence, I don't know what to say to them. Like you said, logic, if we're using logic for specific groups of people to be in power this long, they got to be talking about something. they got to be having some type of conversations. Like really, like this is really like, you know, a no-brainer. So what I'm saying is that when they meet up at these meetings, well, you say Bilderberg, these are the people that once again control finance. These are kings and queens of nations. These are political, people that's in high political positions of power, people that control finance, media. So these are people who are meeting up. We don't know what they're talking about, but we do know is that, you know, people that control the media, people that control the finances, people control politics.
Can I make a point?
They seem to be on the same page.
Can I make a quick point?
Go ahead, make your point, brother.
Wouldn't it just be easy to do a motherfucking Zoom?
You say what?
Wouldn't it be easier just to do a Zoom?
So you asking me? Wait. You're asking me why they do stuff the way they do it.
No, I'm trying to tell you, yo, just be easy to do the Zoom. Won't nobody even know about you. Wouldn't catch them on TV. You wouldn't catch the photographer doing like that. Just send a link to the niggas that you fucking with. Why do all that?
Well, that's something you gotta talk to them about, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
no way it could be that stupid, yo. If they that smart, that kind of money, and don't want to be secret, so people like you don't know, why not just do a Zoom?
Hey, so that's something you could bring. That's something you could suggest to them, I guess. I don't know. You asking me why not do it?
You ain't know that one though, did you? You want to think about that one? That wasn't in your mind. Did you know what? Maybe they doing Zooms. Maybe they send the fake people to the meeting that you think is a meeting is really ain't the meeting. See how you know that's the meeting?
But once again,
how would you know?
Well, maybe they are doing Zooms. But once again, we're not talking to have the conversation. We're talking to disprove. So if you're saying they're doing a Zoom
I'm not
meeting,
disproving. I'm saying the fact that you know it's solar mine, meaning they already been had.
Okay, so
you know it. It's no longer a secret.
Okay.
So change up now. They gotta do Zooms.
The point of the matter is that we're talking about does an Illuminati exist? So what I was saying to you is that there are secret organizations that are out there that have been exposed. We don't really know what they're talking about.
How you know?
Because they see them. They see them.
Who's seeing them? Who's the they? Who's the they to see them? Is it black people to see them? How about Chinese people?
Just look into it, bro. Look into the Bilderberg. You can simply just type that in.
Yeah, once you say Bilderberg, yo, we gotta get away from that. Gotta get away from that, man. The Bilderbergs.
Wow. Okay, I mean, get away from it there.
I'm bringing my uncle on here. He'll Bilderberg you to death.
You know.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Because people like the thing is, especially dealing with, you know, dealing with you black men, like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't like niggas be like niggas be like, you know, like when you talking about power, man, niggas don't really understand, like, you know, because niggas don't have no power.
Can I ask you a question? When we have the summit?
Let's pull up a real.
Let's get American Dream in here real quick. You know, he been waiting for a minute. I just wanted
to. Peace, American Dream.
What up, AD?
Phone
stepped away. Yeah,
phone got him. Hey, yo, you know we can pull up the academic
trying to build a bird.
You know, we can actually pull up the Wikipedia article or ChatGPT. You know, we can get it out the way quick and early in the game.
Go ahead,
Wiki.
Go ahead, American Dream.
Chop, 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 chop.
American Dream. I just heard you say peace.
Yeah, American Dream. Where you at, boy?
The Bilderbergs came and got him.
Yeah.
They killed him before he got a chance.
Scrambled the signal.
Niggas playing out there.
They scrambled the signal.
Oh no! Get up there. We're gonna get found out.
He looked like he about to expose. Look, he looked like he about to expose the secrets.
Y'all play too much, you know. Y'all think this is a joke, like this ain't no joke.
Bilderbergs.
So my question was, when they have the G7 summits or the G12 summits, or when these countries meet and their high political leaders and their financial people meet behind closed doors, isn't that the same thing? Like, we don't know what they're talking about. We just see them shaking hands or having a press conference, and then they disappear behind closed doors, and they have their meetings, and eventually we see the consequences, right? And that's how the world is governed.
What you posing a question to me?
Yeah, like the
Now what you
Bilderberg.
say?
So I'm equating the Bilderberg's meeting to a G7 or a G12 summit, or one of the other international meetings where either financial the top financial companies and bodies come together, or the main political leaders come together, and they discuss things like economics or developments around the world. We don't know what they actually discuss. We
Right.
just know that
Right.
Can't you see that? Can't you see the summits on C-SPAN though?
No, they don't
no,
want
you
that.
don't.
They don't want that. They want to keep people like you out their business.
No, I'm just saying you could actually see the summits on like C-SPAN. You could actually watch it.
Well, you
No,
can actually
they
look up the
have it.
names of the people that was, had that have attended the meeting though, yo. That's they, you know what I mean? I think they just like the confidentiality. They don't want niggas. They don't want people all in their business. They feel like they can have a more open and candid discussion. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like what I know about humans is we're very spooky, and we're gonna and we want to know everything. And so when you don't know something, we just start putting our own thing on it. So I can understand how it has fostered conspiracy theories, yo. But they just want to be, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, let's take a step back for a second.
How about taking a step forward?
No, we have to take it a step back in order to properly move forward.
Really? The
Yeah,
Bilderbergs.
because like okay, let's deal with, for example, somebody will pose a question. Well, how did the European get into power? How did
Oh, here
European?
we go. You switching it up now. The same way Egypt got into power.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, the same way France and Belgium and Russia. The same way the Native American tribe, the Chalkeek and them got into power. The Almacs.
And
That's how you do it.
I guarantee you, in all the cases, you had a group of men that had a specific agenda that not everybody knew about, and they orchestrated that agenda using the power of that particular time.
What's wrong with that though?
But that's all we talking about. What the Illuminati is. Illuminati
No,
is
it's not the Illuminati. It's not that. That's
well.
different. Bilderberg.
So what is the Illuminati? Because we already kind of had a discussion on defining it. That's what I initially came in and established. So
so
like we got to take us another step back.
Yeah, let's take another step back. Let's get into it.
Take another step back.
All right, let's deal with this real quick. Let's talk about what the Illuminati is real fast.
Oh, here we go.
Let's come to a book.
All right.
Let me see Mark Brunell's work. I don't even want to talk about the Egyptian shit, but you can't get out of it. So, general synopsis real fast. Right here, all right? Has a lot to do with the Age of Enlightenment. I think Slim Way kind of mentioned that, right? And Europeans, and after the fall of the Roman Empire, and trying to get into the age of reasoning. Okay, so it says Egyptian priesthood had in fact appealed to conservative thinkers, at least since the time of Plato, had modeled his guardians on them. In the 8th century, this line of thought was taken up by the Freemasons. But even in the Middle Ages, Freemasons appeared to have been especially interested in Egypt, because following ancient traditions, they believed it was the home of geometry and masonry. With the formation of speculative masonry, speculative that you speculate, right? You have operative masonry and speculative masonry. Operative when you're actually in operation. With the formation of speculative masonry at the turn of the 18th century, they drew on the Rosicrucianism and Bruno. Remember, they burned Bruno at the stake for trying to hold knowledge. They say to establish a twofold philosophy. This entailed, superstitions and limited religions for mass, but for the illuminated, a return to the natural and pure original religion of Egypt, from the debris of which all others had been created. Thus, Masonry, who included almost every significant figure in the Enlightenment, saw their religion as Egyptian, their signs and hieroglyphics, their lodges as Egyptian temples, and themselves as Egyptian priesthood. Indeed, the Masonic admiration for Egypt has survived the country's fall from grace amongst the academics. With some degree of self-deprecation, Masons have maintained the cult until this day as an anomaly in the world where true history is seen to have begun with the Greeks. So basically, during the time in the Age of Enlightenment, right, they started to do excavations and things of that nature on Egypt, and they found out that the shit was older than the Catholic Church. It was older than the biblical world. And they was like, well, how is this older than the daggone biblical world? Right? So they kind of cut a deal with the geologists of that time. They say, look, don't say that. Just say this is epic. So you'll hear them talk about the epic or the epic this. That way you wouldn't get in the way with the Bible. The point I'm trying to make here, it was the opening of kind of like free thought, where prior to that, superstitions actually ruled the day. And this is why they call it the Age of Enlightenment. Although the Egyptians started to set the standard, right, for religion, for science, right, they hadn't quite gotten out of their way. Meaning they hadn't quite extracted the superstitions out of what they was doing. Even when you looked at the papyrus, right? This papyrus right here, right? Let me leave a clue for you. Let me see. Where the hell I put that at? Right here. We do it all the time. This papyrus right here. See? The Edwin Smith medical papyrus, right? See? Edwin Smith. Y'all see it. This is a reference, right? For this book on anatomy, right? And you say, well, why? Because this is important. Watch this. It says the Edwin Smith papyrus written in ancient Egypt script from 1900 to 1600 BCE is the earliest known medical literature, consisting of 48 histories. It describes the condition and diagnosis of treatment. Watch this, for the first time in human history, at least recorded, in a rational and systematic way. Imagine that, 1900, 1200, 1600 BCE. Look how long Homo sapiens has been on the planet, but this is evidence for the first time you can actually see people trying to do things in a rational way. Homo sapiens to this day can't get out their damn way. We argue and fight with people. Why am I saying this? Because back then they were saying you are illuminated, right? If you are not as spooked out, that you start to look at things in terms of nature. This developed what they call the natural sciences. This is when they moving away from the old Egyptian ways, right? Who couldn't quite get out their way. Because even in this papyri I talked about, if you look at the next page of it, right, they'll still have some damn spells. It's almost like going to the doctors and he give you a prescription, and at the bottom of the goddamn thing it say John 3:16. You're like, what the hell is this doing here? It don't match up, right? So you would think that the person who wrote John 3:16 think it's going to give some power to the dang prescription he gave you. See that? But the fact that we don't do that today, that we don't mix the religion with the science, right? It can all be traced back to Egypt and how they were trying to break away from it. And the difference of why we sit here today, because them goddamn Europeans, they threw God away. Some of them. And this ushered in the Age of Enlightenment, or the illuminated ones. There you have it.
So do you think, so let's go back to the back of the dollar for a second, right? Do you think that was like a paying homage to those enlightened ones back in the day
Or we could just look it up and ask the
with
question.
the pyramid.
We could ask the question, couldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get the question answered.
It wouldn't be far fetched to like draw those patterns there a little bit, just for you know what I mean.
We can
Somewhat.
find out why they did it. We know why they did it. We know who made each. We know who the artist was.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. So you want to know what?
The pyramid on the back of the dollar, is that like paying homage to the Illuminati?
I used to say that sometime. Let's get everything clear because we got a bunch of creeps running around here trying to make you perfect. Let me see. So you want to know had the back of the dollar? Did the back of the dollar bill?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did the back of the dollar bill give homage to Illuminati? That's what you're saying?
Hey, peace,
Pyramid.
What's
What's
going on?
up,
How you doing, man?
peace. Can I take a shot at that question?
Yes, you can.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that given a peace to everyone, by the way. I think that given that the Illuminati, as y'all have stated, is about getting back to reason and getting away from religion. And also, if you remember on the back of the dollar bill, it's not just the pyramid and that stuff. It also says in God we trust. So I don't know if necessarily if it's taken one side. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily seem to be rejecting the idea of God. So I don't necessarily see it as being anti you know what I mean, God in that respect, or pro Illuminati in that respect. I think the fact that it has both speaks to, you know what I'm saying, the fact that it makes room for both, if you will.
What you mean?
That's interesting. That's an interesting take.
He said what?
You
He said
talking
what?
about the fact that it got so being that the Illuminati was the enlightened ones, they was moving away from the spooked out religion, right? He's saying that being that it got "In God We Trust" on there, then that would it wouldn't really make sense. It kind of contradicts the idea of paying homage to the enlightened ones that was moving away from that religious mindset.
That came on that later than "In God We Trust." Remember? I think it was in the 50s when they put it on there.
That's interesting.
In the 60s.
In the
So
60s. Yeah, it was in the 60s.
They tried to bring it back, or it was more like a compromise.
No, they were saying they ain't want motherfuckers to think we was just straight out atheists. They said he put it in there.
I mean, come on, that's kind of vague, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Man, nigga, Google this shit. I swear they put it on there in the 50s, 60s, yo. I lie to you not, yo.
Yep.
So, can I ask you a question, Ankh?
Yes.
So, given that the Illuminati is about reason and holding reason and I guess science as more valuable than the spooked out religious stuff, and given that given that the pseudo killers are also about promoting scientific literacy and science and also atheism as well, would you say that PK can be seen as an Illuminati kind of organization more so than Jay-Z?
No, see, if I say that, niggas will be clipping this shit up. Oh, I told you, I know it. I know it. That damn uncle's a Mason. I know it.
No, but let me ask you this other, because it also sounds as if
the work that we do and the way that we engage above ground is what the Illuminati did underground. And the fact that we are able to do this in public is a testament to the growth that we have made as a society and as a people, that we can openly proclaim our atheism, have discussions about religion, have discussions about philosophy, and ground ourselves in methodological naturalism. Right? That is what the Illuminati initially represented. Now, what pop culture has made it into, this death cult, this group that worship Satan and do ritual sacrifices, etc., is completely and totally contrary to anything that an atheist or an enlightened person stands for.
It's like
So
oh, go ahead.
The Bavarian Illuminati. Did Marcus talk about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I know. I talked about that.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, but it
No,
was
yeah,
exactly
we talked about it earlier before he
yeah.
got on the panel. That's what we started with.
All right, so
We didn't go to the Spanish
But
Illuminati
you
yet.
know, I wanted to make a comment on the what y'all was just talking about
oh
with the
man, you
whole
dove
time.
in the middle of his talking just now. How'd you manage
Oh,
that?
I'm
You
not.
came
Yeah,
in
well,
like this
my
damn
phone got a
Israel.
little delayed, so pardon me if I interrupted somebody.
Yeah, hold on for a second. So yeah, so y'all talked about that part of it, and so my explanation of it was right there. Right, you just was trying to promote reason and all that shit, man. Now as for the day, man, I'm not running around that rabbit hole. Cause guess what? If it was that and all the stuff y'all saying, then you can't do nothing about it anyway. So why worry about some shit you can't worry about?
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy.
What the hell's going
Exactly.
on? I'm not gonna do nothing
That's
You
myself.
crazy
can't,
work.
can't do
Shit,
nothing
go
but
with it
watch.
anyway. Shit. You know what I
That's
mean? Hell,
crazy work.
my father didn't live, my mother didn't live. I'm living. We getting money. We doing this. I ain't worried about that shit. Let them kill their damn.
That's
What the hell's
wild,
going
bro.
Hey,
on?
hey,
That's wild, man.
and
Shit,
one
what the
thing,
hell's going on?
before you go, Solomon, to answer your question to American Dream is, I want to go and speak to human resources because if we Illuminati, bro, where our checks at?
Where our checks at? Y'all need to check in
Yeah,
the mail.
Why
y'all
Jay
niggas
Z?
ain't
Look, why Jay Z
Free,
get the
we the
Illuminati check and we don't get?
Freemasons.
y'all niggas
Yeah,
ain't no Illuminati. Jay
we
Z
on
ain't
the
no
Nah,
we
damn
on the bottom of
Illuminati.
the
y'all
totem pole
also,
on Illuminati. Yeah.
You
you
niggas is
also
just
have to remember. You also have to remember that the other stuff about them ruling the world and all of that other stuff. That's the conspiracy stuff, right? So the only thing that, according to the illuminated ones, the only thing that made them illuminated was just the fact that they were dealing with reason and rejecting the
That's right.
spooky stuff.
That's right.
That was what being Illuminati meant to them.
That's
and
right.
and that's what I'm saying. PK does as well. The pseudo killers also do that.
Right, right.
So
Yep. Yep.
pseudo killers are
I'm not
Illuminati
gonna let you
in
say
the
it
light.
though.
No, I mean, in my estimation, and I'm not a pseudo killer, which is why I can say it freely. But in my estimation,
No,
I think
sir.
pseudo killers
Not gonna put
are
that on
are
me, yo.
modern day Illuminati
Don't
No,
in
no,
the
no, no,
listen to
no,
this
sense of
no.
man.
how
That's
they saw it.
modern
Look,
yeah,
day.
don't
bro.
listen to
That's
this man. I
modern day.
rebuke him in the
That's
name of
modern
Christ.
day. That's modern
Oh,
That's
day.
crazy.
That modern day that you added there just muddy the waters. Again,
Yeah, you funny.
I
Yo. That's
made
a
an
good one.
elaborate
That's a good one.
explanation of what Illuminati represents in pop culture versus what it actually is. So your argument is both correct and flawed at the same time when you take us as modern day Illuminati. No, what we are engaging in is what they did underground, we do simply above ground. That means the enlightenment is shared amongst all people and no longer an
I mean,
isolated group. So you cannot put us within the framework of the modern Illuminati, which is about ritual sacrifices and all this nonsense. Again, as enlightened and atheists, we would never subscribe to worship of any entity for which there is no grounding in reality. If you don't believe in a God, why would you believe in a devil?
I'm sorry, Cedric. Because I think I heard Ankh kind of made the same, like saying that Illuminati and Masonry was kind of the same thing, and I think that's kind of what you're kind of implying as well when you say, like, is that because in my estimation, I don't necessarily think that they are where
That
Illuminati, like if you belong to Illuminati, that means that what I mean, you're a Mason, because there are a lot of different types of Masons.
Oh no,
Um,
that's not no. We just saying they was enlightened. They follow the same tenets. Like that's how you know what I mean. They were
Right,
steeped
because
in the age of enlightenment.
in my estimation, the reason the reason they were underground is because if they couldn't come above ground because the church would have them killed. So that's why they went underground. And I think that if those people live today, they too would be above ground like we are. And if the PKs existed in their time, y'all would have to be, what I mean, below ground. Y'all would have to go in hiding and do what y'all are doing because y'all would be risking your
hey,
lives.
hey,
So,
that makes
I don't. The only reason I'm saying modern is because your views are the same. It's just that y'all are above ground and y'all can do this in the open where the Illuminati back then just could not. But that's the only difference I see between
what your values are and what theirs are.
Yeah, I get your point too, American Dream, because it's kind of like that now. Like, when we bring in science to people that have either religious ideologies or some what we call pseudo ideologies or whatever, we kind of get chastised about it or hated on about it. So yeah, yeah. Like back in the day, we would have got
Significant
killed.
pushback, especially when we
Indeed,
It's
start to
not,
absolutely.
talk about
only
things
thing
like
protecting us is the
evolution.
laws now. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Sid.
Yeah, like, especially when we start to address subjects like evolution, is when you get the most pushback, and the creationists and the hardcore believers come out of the woodworks, because that simply uh, uh, collides with their belief system. So yeah, in some respects, we're the boogeyman, because we undermine some people's belief system, and we tackle things like abos, etc. So yeah, it is simply what we do.
Indeed. So it sounds as if y'all are now more open and accepting of the idea of being Illuminati.
I have again, I'm going to repeat myself in terms of what they stood for. The same premise exists: methodological naturalism, logic, and reason. The difference is we no longer have to do it underground. Therefore, we no longer can be attributed or equated to the Illuminati, because it represents something completely different in today's society. What we represent is pseudo killers and modern day humanism and reason, scientific literacy.
Indeed. Indeed. I'm just
And
messing with y'all a little bit. I'm
and,
just
and,
messing
and
with y'all a little bit.
again, I wouldn't mind being Illuminati if they would cut me the check. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
I get
funny
it.
as hell with that one. You know American Dream gonna come with something like that. Yeah, that shit funny, yo.
I'm
That
just
nigga having
messing.
videos. It's the new we
I'm,
found him, the Black Illuminati. Shh, that shit's
The
I
hilarious.
pseudo
mean,
killers, the pseudo killers have proclaimed the Illuminati. We
Illuminati
come up
shit.
on another, yeah, we come up
Crazy.
on another channel. Oh yeah, the pseudo killers. I heard y'all Illuminati. Ah,
and it's not just your love for science that makes you Illuminati. It's also your rejection of the idea of God. It's also your atheism. You know what I mean? So y'all kind of like, fit the mold pretty well. Y'all just don't fit the conspiracy theory mold, but y'all
no,
fit the real authentic idea of what it means to be illuminated, and you know what I mean, promoting that idea of all, although more research into those people and their ideas may be that they were rejecting a spooky idea of God. There may be non-spooky ideas of God that they would be open to.
then we would
but
be
not
Because we
but
Illuminati
we kind of
2.0.
but not all Illuminatis were associated with atheism. So you have share this right quick so I can show them another group. Kent, so we can share this other group that's considered the Illuminati. Though I did start with the Age of Enlightenment and Reasoning, which is the German, which is what most of the conspiracy theories come from. They wasn't the only one. So here's another group that is associated with the Illuminati, and that's Alumbrados. They were also called the Illuminati, practitioners of the mystic form of Christianity in the crown of Castile during the 15th and 16th centuries. Some of them were mildly heterodox, and others were viewed as heretics or heretical, uh, according to the rulers of their day. And these were some of the first victims of the Spanish Inquisition.
Inquisition.
So that's another group that was referred to as Illuminati, and that puts it back in the 14th and the 14 and 1500s. So not all groups associated with the Illuminati necessarily was against religion per se. Some of them didn't mind. What the Germans one was that I don't even know if they were all against religion themselves, or were they just saying that human reasoning had a greater value. So who knows?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Chilemwe. That group you're talking on, maybe I missed it. Did you say were they a Christian group?
Yeah, they were also yeah. They're not related, but a lot of different groups carried the title Illuminati, and so
Right. Because
I started with the German group, but just because I started with the German group, that don't mean that they're all of them follow that German group. That was just a group that they called the Illuminati at one point in time. I just gave you another group that was also called the Illuminati, but that was not necessarily against religion.
Right, because we spoke about whether there's a difference between Illuminati and Masons and stuff like that, and even though there's a difference, there may also be similarities because in Masonry, there may be I could be wrong, but I think that there are Masonic organizations that talk about Christian Science. So it's Christianity, but from like some sort of a scientific, from their view, it's more scientific than spooky. So where in their sense they may be getting rid of the spookiness of Christianity, but they're not getting rid of it in totality.
No, I
Which
think
kind of
Masons go by
Can
the. I think Masons are a religious group as well. You correct me if I'm
Yeah, the
wrong, any of y'all, but
Rosicrucians.
I think they go by the Bible. Like they
Yeah,
they
the
uh they
Yeah,
subscribe
Rosicrucians
to the
are
Bible.
religious order.
we missing
Uh,
some context.
Go ahead.
yeah,
We
go ahead.
the context that we missing, that we never, when people having this discussion, the thing that they completely ignore is the context of the time, because we talking about what, 15th, 16th, 17th century. All right, and we talking Europe. So
Mhm.
we're talking monarchies and we're talking Catholicism running.
Mhm.
Those are the two powers in Europe.
Yep.
By this
Okay.
time, all of the kings in Europe has been converted to Catholicism, except
Mhm.
England. I'm not sure the exact date that they separated and created the Church of England. I'm not up on that date, but that's what we have to consider.
And the
We also
Netherlands
got
is
to
founded
consider
in
we
88.
also got to consider hold on we also got to consider what were the origins of the conspiracy theory. So all right, you have these secret groups, you have these groups meeting in secret, and whoever said Masons and Illuminati are two different things, they are. Masonry is one thing, Illuminati is another thing, but what they all have in common is they are secret societies. They are groups that meet in secret. So you have two enemies of that. The first enemy is the state. The state doesn't want people, especially in those days and times, the state doesn't want people meeting in secret without the government knowing, because the primary thing that they're scared of is rebellion. Two, the second power is the church. There is no freedom of religion in Europe at this time. So now it may not apply to like groups like the Illuminati, but it would apply to like Christian groups or groups like the Masons that have, the grand architect of the universe. You're a direct competition to the Catholic Church. So now you got these two powerful entities, and then you got these little small groups of people, and they are meeting in secret, like y'all say, discussing whatever they're talking about. So now over time, as these groups gain power and gain following, you have the government wanting to stop them at the behest of the Catholic Church. So then you have these groups all being shut down. They're pretty much outlawed. Okay, now once they're outlawed, the powers that be have to justify this to the people. They don't just come in heavy hand. Well, they could have just said, all right, we just cut it out, get out of here. Y'all not allowed to do this no more. But in addition to doing that, they also, what do you do? Like, what did the Nazis do to the Jewish folks? Before they put them in the concentration camps, they spread propaganda about them to demonize them to the public. So now the way that the government and the church demonize these groups, devil worshippers, they're overthrowing the government. Like they blame the French Revolution on these secret societies. Now, if you understand about European history, the French Revolution was the first time in Europe that a monarchy was overthrown and a republic was installed. So before that time, you had monarchies taking over, but it was just one king taking over for another. The French Revolution was special because they took the monarchy and they changed the whole system of government. And that is the source of all of these conspiracy theories. The Catholic Church pretty much made up all of this mythology that we repeat in the day. Books like back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, books like Beyond the Pale Horse. We didn't know what a conservative Christian was back then. That wasn't in our lexicon. But if you go back and you read dude's biography, he was a conservative Christian. So he's pretty much regurgitating all of the old shit the same way that we like to go back and quote books from the 1800s like we do. White pseudos did the same thing, and he came up with that book. He did all of his research or whatever, mentioned random facts, connected the dots in his head, put out a book, and we all ran with it. I read it. If you was in the conscious community back then, you read that book. And that's just what it is. I'm just saying, I just wanted to get on here and kind of add the context to it and see where this stuff is coming from. Y'all pretty much just regurgitating what the Catholic Church put out about secret societies back in that time, 16, 17, 1800s, to vilify them, to make the people not want to be a part of them. Once America was founded, around the same time, once America was founded, now these groups, they can exist in the open because America was founded with a separation between church and state and freedom of religion. But the stigma still stayed with these groups. And that's kind of what I wanted to get off, because it's like we get completely out there. And sometimes we just got to consider the source. Sometimes we just got to do the historical research that we know how to do. Because one thing that the historical research will give you answers. The answers are right there. But what the conspiracies don't have, they don't have documentation. Like I forgot who it was. When I came on in the middle. He said, well, they talking about something. But that don't mean they talking about what you said they talking about. You literally have no proof. You're literally making up a scenario in your brain. And that's what these people are doing. They're literally just making shit up.
Hey, Anonymous
And
Preem.
That's what I wanted to say.
Anonymous Preem,
hey,
Hold
on, Mark. Let me get to something he said a few minutes ago. You mentioned the book Behold a Pale Horse, right? You said you got on that in the conscious community.
Yeah, back in the days, yeah.
Yep. So it's crazy because I didn't even know anything about the conscious community, but I heard about Behold a Pale Horse off the Pimp C song, off the Double Disc album that they dropped, and he was like mentioning some books. He was saying some shit at the end of one of the songs. He was like, "Behold a pale horse, go get that."
Right, but where you think he got it from? He got it from what was the conscious. We didn't call it the conscious community back then, but the Nation of Islam, the 5%ers, whatever iteration of Dr. York's group was in at that time, the Hebrew Israelites.
And he had just got out of jail,
all of these groups. All of these groups existed back then, and that literature was being passed around. We all read that stuff.
Yeah,
we all read it.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. My bad.
So I don't think what you said was historically accurate. There's a lot of just mistakes, and truth be told, we didn't actually condemn the Illuminati from the 1600s. So I don't know where you got that idea.
It was literally outlawed in Germany by their government at the behest of the Catholic Church.
I wasn't really finished talking.
Okay, go ahead.
But you said that we today, right now, use propaganda from the Catholic Church to talk bad about the Illuminati, which is not what we did. So I don't know where you got that from. You basically made that
No,
up.
no.
So,
Okay, now look, can I
so,
address the point?
I wasn't done. I
Okay,
let
my
you go
bad.
on for a nice spill.
Okay.
Actually, we would actually be closer to standing with the Illuminati, with their idea of human reasoning and rationality. So I don't know where you drew that from.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
What we did condemn is those who are running around creating conspiracy theories based on that 1500, 1600, and 1700 group from the Age of Enlightenment. That's who we're talking about, who brains see patterns in everything and make these giant leaps that just doesn't make any logical sense, which is what you did earlier. And so that's the part that we're talking about. I don't know all the other stuff, and you made some crucial mistakes.
Bruh, I was literally talking about the conspiracies. That's what I came on here to talk about, the conspiracy aspect of it, and that's what I was talking about, giving context and how those conspiracies came to be. That's what I was talking about.
I appreciate your addition, but just for the record, indeed, we did go over the Catholic Church, its predominance all throughout Europe. I illustrated the 80-year war that the Dutch fought with the Spanish, who was predominantly under the Catholic Church at the time. So we did highlight the fact that it was the age of reasoning that these particular individuals were engaging in, and that they were forced on the ground by the powers that be, because of course, their agenda function opposite the state-sponsored religion and that control. And the part about the propaganda and who and how that was created, we did not elaborate on that, but we did indicate that these people were being persecuted and forced on the ground. So your
right.
Insight to that point was an addition. Thank you.
Right. I was a little late, Sid, and I tapped in the middle. Juju made me get on here. She was threatening me, so I had to get on.
Yeah. But yeah, we actually, to the point American Dream was hinting at, what the pseudo killers represent and what we stand for is actually in line with what the original concept of the Illuminati represented, right?
Got you.
And the fact that in today's day and age, the irony of it is that it has now been transformed into something completely and totally opposite everything it represents. When we look at the framework of the conspiracies today, the devil worship, etc., that would be irrational and illogical when you look at a people that are engaging in humanism, in democracy, in scientific endeavors, in methodological naturalism, which will eliminate any such belief or subscription to any supernatural entity.
Oh, definitely. But that's kind of what I was building on, how the origin is kind of different from what it's being painted as today. That's kind of what the angle that I was coming on to talk about.
And I was also mentioning earlier the irony of it. For example, if anyone from this community sees the eye of Horus on a shirt, we would attribute that to the Egyptian culture and history, and see that with an appreciation. Whereas in popular culture, that has a completely negative connotation, and again, some form of anti-Africanism on full display. I was making that observation earlier, so that we would see an eye of Horus or a pyramid and subscribe that to something evil and something negative in popular culture today, and that again is a fabrication and a false narrative.
Hey, Solar Mind, man, I see you back, man. You had something else on your mind?
Yeah. I think y'all kind of moved away from the point I was going to make. It was based off of what Unc was saying, with the doing away of like I guess the metaphysical concepts and taking God out the equation of science.
Yep. Crucial.
Yeah. So
you agree?
To a degree.
What part of you either can take it out or you can, yo. You got to take this shit out, yo. I'm not saying get rid of religion. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you got to take the religion out your science. It can't. The two can't exist. You know what I mean? Separately they can, but not co-joined together. You can't.
Yeah, I think what you was making reference to, dealing with it from a historical. I'm talking to the pseudo killer, so y'all don't really understand certain shit when it goes beyond.
No, I think we do. I think we do.
Like you may, but like
niggas don't. It's crazy.
Yeah. But okay, so the Knights Templars, what they was making reference to with the Masonic organization. The Knights Templars, during the Christian Crusades, once they, conquered the alleged place of the crucifixion, they found secrets in, a lot of artifacts that was in one of the temples. I forget exactly where it was at, but there was what Damascus out.
The Illuminati doesn't want you to lay their secret out. You talk about the Masons. You talk about the Knights Templar.
Form a secret society, where so they began to become like Masons, things of that nature. And when we say Masons, we talking about constructing those cathedrals, the buildings, and they began to understand aspects of finance and things of that nature. So whatever they found in there, it gave them knowledge of how to do certain things. Now, on the spiritual side, they began to, within their organization, they began to desecrate certain Catholic symbolism, the cross, etc. And now the church began to see that it was a problem, so they began to persecute them. So they would seek refuge in, I think, Scotland. And so this is where you get to like the Scottish rites, masonry. They would seek refuge there. Now, when you talk about the Illuminati, that will be a very small example of what I was referring to. Like, the Catholic Church, seeing them there was a problem, they began to persecute them. So it wasn't that they were necessarily, because they say that what the Freemasons are in the Illuminati. But the Freemasons or the Masonic lodges are just places of congregation for groups of people. Now, you could go into a Masonic lodge and not know what the hell's going on. Or you could go in there and then play the politics and get involved in what certain people are doing. So it's not necessarily the word Mason, but it's just like a place where they can kind of narrow down, the type of people that they will want to be a part of their, agenda. So that's what you had going on when you're talking about the age of enlightenment or this anti-religious movement. The anti-religious movement came as a result of them trying to attack the Roman Catholic Church and take it out of power. Now, I think it was the P2 organization. Propaganda, P2, Propaganda Do.
You got that backwards, Joe.
Huh?
You got that backwards. The Catholic Church had all the money. As a matter of fact, it was a smear campaign orchestrated by the Catholic Church. You weren't powerful enough to attack them. You couldn't attack the Catholic Church back then, yo. Remember, they was the only thing left after the Roman Empire fell. They had all the money.
We're on the same page. We're on the same page, bro.
Okay, all right. Well, what was you saying? You said
the threat of the Templars was their banking system.
Yeah,
that was the Templars' threat.
Yeah. They established,
What's going on, Preem?
You, what up, bro?
How you doing, man? Hit me up sometime, bro.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to cut you off, homie. Whoever was speaking.
That's Solomon.
Oh, peace, bro.
Yeah, you can cut them off. Your hands saying up.
But yeah,
Yeah.
all right. But well, as far as the Knights Templar, he was kind of on point a little bit. What they did was they established a banking system that rivaled, the powers that be. That's really what their quote unquote sin was. Yeah, and again, you know what I mean? When you back in those times, when you set yourself up as not even a direct competitor, but when you rise to power, you're dealing with kings and a pope. The pope was supposed to be the representative of God, and all of the kings were endorsed by the pope. So you had a bunch of men running around acting like they gods, and when you challenge God power, he going, you know what I mean? He going to do something to you, and that's what that was. As far as the connection between the Scottish Rites and the Templars, I think that's speculative, but the other points he made, he was on point.
About them attacking the Catholic Church?
No, not them attacking. They were rivals to the Catholic Church as far as the banking system. That's what that was about. They got too rich. They got too rich because they set up a network. They set up a network around Europe where they could move money. So pretty much they had stores of treasure or cash or whatever the medium of exchange was. They had stores all over Europe, and pretty much you could move money with a message, meaning that, all right, say I'm in Rome and you're in Paris. I could send a messenger from Rome to Paris, and like say I wanted to give you 1,000. That bank over there would give you 1,000, and the money wouldn't actually have to be physically transferred. It was just a bookkeeping thing. So and that set up like that was that being set up outside of the state and outside of the church, that was seen as a direct threat. So that's why they went to, that's why they went to do the thing to him. That's why they went, started rounding them up and all that, outlawing them and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah,
My
and they
pushback
loaned,
was
they
on the
loaned, I think
actual.
they loaned the government, the King of France. They had a big loan with the King of France, I think, and so they had a lot of power. And I think then they decided that these guys needed to go because
Yep.
the country wasn't about to pay them back. The king wasn't about to pay them back, and they became way too powerful. They controlled when and where people went to war based on their financial resources. So they had to go.
Yeah.
And
Too much power.
and we're only talking about Western Europe. So there were other competing powers in other places against them that pressed up against them. So Eastern Europe had their own religious movements that took place that pressed against them. And most of it had to do with trade routes too. So they got a lot of wealth because they were able to control some of the trade routes down coming in through the Near East. And so that became a form of competition.
Yep.
A lot of kings in Europe really didn't have a lot of money. If you actually look at it, a lot of them were indebted to I wouldn't say bankers because at that time bankers wasn't known in that context, but noblemen and businessmen who had lots of wealth that was able to loan the wealth to the crown and attain political power. The God King is questionable. I don't think it was actually in Europe until closer to like the late 1500s, early 1600s. But they did have this bloodline type attitudes towards royalty. So that was questionable. I think the God King came in when the church broke away from in England.
Well, as far as the God Kings, I wasn't saying it specifically like they were like the Egyptians. What I meant was that once they were endorsed by the Pope, they kind of looked at themselves as being endorsed by God because the Pope was God's representative. So it's
Yeah,
The
Yeah,
language is similar, but it's not the same like back in Egypt where they were like the king is the literally embodiment of God. Like that. No, they never Europe did not have that. If I was confusing folks on that note, then apologize, and this is the correction. Yeah. It was just because the Pope kind of, because pretty much what people don't realize is the Catholic Church was literally a country. They had their own standing army, and all of Central Europe was their territory, and Rome was their capital. It wasn't Italy. All of Italy was mainly a collection of city-states, and the Papal States was just one of those governments. And the Pope was the head of that government. And because were getting tribute from all of the kings in Europe, they kind of had more money than all of the other governments, because they not only did what governments do as far as ruling, collecting taxes, going to war, getting war tribute and stuff like that. They also had people just giving them money just on the strength because they were spooked out. So that's what made the Papal States one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful state in Europe when they existed. It wasn't until a lot later, the unification of Italy and stripping the church of their armies and all of that the Catholic Church lost that power.
Spookism played a great role in the Catholic Church ability to rule power. The Pope
Yep.
spoke as the Pope spoke as we, so he was a part of that Holy Trinity, and he spoke as us and we. He never spoke of himself as I, right? Because he was a direct representative of God. And because of all these nobilities being spooked out and under the behest of the church and God, right? That is what gave the Catholic Church all its power throughout Europe. I mean, a king would not get married unless he had the approval of the Pope, which meant he had the approval of God.
Yeah, I think it's called. I think it's ex Cadria and Victor of Christ. I think that's the two terms they use. That literally says that the Pope speaks with the authority of God and as a representative of God's divine rule. I think that was like the leading thought for a long time within the Roman Catholic Church, um, which is to some degree, I guess you could say it was similar to how many view it today, I guess.
Yeah,
The Papal creeds and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a very, I think sometimes we look at Europe because we come through this long history. We look at Europe as one single entity of whiteness. But in reality, man, there was a lot of factions, a lot of fighting. Some cardinals were against other cardinals. Some cardinals had almost as much power as the Pope in some eras. So, I mean, it's a fascinating story. The political, social, and economic interplay between them all is fascinating. And then there you don't just have the Illuminati, you have a lot of different smaller groups that are vying for power, economic security, their whatever their political social views are. So it's a fascinating tale, and you can see it played out. You then also have Islamic influences during this time that's still prevalent there, even though the Moors and some of the Jews have been removed from the Mediterranean area, but you still have a lot of their influences there.
The Baltic states.
Yeah, you still got
In the
some.
Baltic states, you have a very ancient Muslim tradition. It was at the root of the Yugoslavian war, ethnic cleansing, etc. So the Balkan states was always one of the corridors where the East would come in to Europe. That's the traditional pathway, and then you have Orthodox within that region that formed the first buffer for the Muslim invasion via Eastern Europe. So it's a very intricate history.
Yeah, they and this is a wild tangent, but I remember, matter of fact, Mario Puzo, the author of The Godfather, he got a real interesting book called The Family, and it's talking about Pope Alexander, and it's like, and when I read the background on the book, it's like he always weaves in his fiction, he always weaves in like aspects of history, and I think that's a real interesting book to read, to give you kind of insight on, because it literally looks at the office of the Pope. It looks at the political aspects of it, and it's called The Family because one of the popes, Pope Alexander, they were saying that his family was almost like he ran his family like a mob family, meaning that, if you challenge the Pope, you might find yourself poisoned. You might, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's hard for us in modern times to think of religion in that aspect. But back then, religion was the power. Religion went
There's
in the East and the West. The religion, whoever ran the religion, that's who really ran things.
Yeah, there's a
Steve.
there's a series on, I think it's Netflix, called the Malichis, which has the Pope's a bad man, poisoning. He has children. He has a mistress.
The
The Pope,
Medici.
Medici.
the
Is that it? The
Medici.
Medici?
Medici.
The
Medici, yeah, is
Medici. Yeah,
one of the main families of Venice.
yeah, yeah, and how they became the main family of Venice. I mean, the godfather of the family is he was the Pope, right? And you see all the intrigue and taste testers because of him scared of being poisoned, and the whole politics of being the Pope and running the papal state.
Yeah, that history is real obscure because they really don't want that to be like, you can find it, but it's not like it's going to be right in front of your face. You're going to find it more in fiction than you are, you know what I mean? Like, you may have to you may have to read some books in Italian to actually get that
Yeah.
history, because that's not something that they have publicized over the centuries.
No, of course not. The Pope is holy and religious. There is no politics there. It's the word of God.
Yeah, Pope got kids and everything.
A
Pope got a whole family living in the Vatican
whole
City with him.
family of mistress.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, just like a king. He got his concubines. He got
Yep,
his, you know what I mean?
the same exact thing. But he can cloud it in God, and he's a step above the rest because he's ordained by God to
Yeah,
watch kings humble themselves with armies and forces to the Pope at that time was hilarious. And the amount of power that the Pope wielded based on him being the representative of God was
yeah.
hilarious.
Constantine was a bad boy, man. Once he got them
Yeah,
other kings to convert,
that was it.
sheesh.
That was it. And they
Yeah,
were
man.
off to the races.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole
Christianity
whole
ran through Europe like
yeah,
wildfire.
England. I mean, they controlled pretty much every uh, 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 country in Europe, indirectly or directly.
Yeah,
Whether it be via their advisors that the king was supposed to have, or the fact that they had all the nobility educated in Rome, educated in the priesthood. Like their system of indoctrination was and you can still see the effects of that today. I mean, here in the Caribbean, we live in a colony, And my youngest, she's now 6. She's going to be 7 this year. She's already developing the proficiency in Dutch, right? Because of their system of methodologically teaching and converting the population to their system. It is. I look at her now, and she's articulating herself in Dutch, and I'm now realizing the effects. I mean, I've been through that same system, and I now can see it in my offering. Like, wow, damn, that you don't hear that language on the TV. You don't hear it on the radio. You only hear it within the confinements of your school system. But it is such a the system it's so refined that the kids take it home with them. My proficiency in Dutch is near equal to that of a European, and I've lived in the Netherlands, but besides that, I went to the Netherlands speaking fluent, accurate Dutch. Like their system of indoctrination is good, and
Hey,
that
practice
again,
makes perfect.
yeah,
They've
and
been they've
it's
been they've been
Catholic
colonizing
based.
for centuries.
Yeah, and it's Catholic based. The predominant school system on my island is still Catholic. So the majority of the primary schools are still Catholic based. You can't get
Wow.
around.
Before we get off too far, Vasa, did you want to jump in now? And I want you to take a look at Desmond's comment. He said it wasn't Medici, but Borgia.
Oh
Borgia.
yes,
Yeah, oh
yes,
yeah,
yes,
we talking about
yes,
two
yes.
different things. Yeah, the Borgias, that was
The
Pope
Borgias,
Alexander,
yeah.
the Borgias. The Seth was talking about another show, and that show I kind of looked at a little bit of the show, and that was about the Medicis. So it was two different things, two different
Family.
topics.
All
Yep.
right.
Yeah,
So
let's
he's
all
right.
go
He's
to the
definitely
big
on
All right.
word.
point.
But Vasa
Yeah,
Cesare
wanted to get
Borgia.
in.
yeah,
Vasa wanted to
Borgia.
get in, and I think Taj also wanted you all to know about the gilded societies and how that can be misled too.
Peace, everybody. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't have too
Wow.
much to contribute. There's a book I've been suggesting people read that I think would help anybody interested in more in-depth studies on the particular subject, at least at the moment. It's Galileo Cortare, The Practice of Science and the Culture of Absolutism. And it walks you through the politics of the court at that time via how science was moving and the artisans. It even makes mention of Galileo's relationship with the Medicis um, to tie all that in together. Juju kept insisting that I come up here and say something, but I'm just kind of listening to the conversation and trying to keep up with it. It's one of those conversations that covers too much to just zoom in on one particular thing. I put that book, well, I put a picture of the book in the Discord, Juju, but it's a real, real good one. Chill, I think you would like that one. It's an easy read. It's pretty long, but it's an easy read. And I'll sit around and try to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'll look for it in a few minutes. See if I can find a copy of it. If not,
But
I'll order one.
one thing it talks about is that I like. It talks about how you had to go through a system of patronage at the time, and this goes into the nobilities and just
Mm-hmm.
how things moved at that particular time. And I think that's important. How you had to pay tribute and how the artisans were used. This even goes into the Galileo being commissioned to paint the Medicis and deify them as the solar planets. Like that painting you see, Galileo was behind that, if not mistaken, and according to this author. There's a lot that we just haven't been taught over here in the United States because we tend to just focus, at least K through 12, on our history and not world history. And it becomes misfortunate to us in these types of conversations and trying to understand how we got to this point.
Yeah, that's well, yeah, because just to add on what he was saying, that's how your sciences and your arts got off the ground. Back in the day, rich people would literally say, "All right, I'm gonna set you up in this space, and you do what you do. And when you come back, when you figure something out, come back to me." And that's how Da Vinci and all of those guys, Michelangelo, that's how they were able to do their art. Like you said, Galileo, people like that. That's how they were able to do their research, because that's pretty much what you pretty much had to politic and kiss some rich people ass to get to get the resources you needed to do what you do.
That's in the Renaissance, and it was because it was sexy at that point in time. Again, this is when the sciences were starting to slowly get off the ground. So what rich folks would do, it would be sexy to invest in these craftsmen, in these scientists, right? To have to be associated or to be a part of the hip society, right? That's the whole Renaissance period, and thanks to the Renaissance period, we got a lot of science off the ground. That's actually correct. The resurgence, the age of enlightenment, that was all fostered, and of course, the rich and famous do what the rich and famous do. They supply ateliers. They want sculptures of their families and beautiful paintings. And then the Michelangelos and the Leonardo da Vinci's. This is when then when art and science and technology began to flourish.
Yep, all about vanity and power. Because
Hmm.
really, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how power is exercised over time, in different eras and different parts of history. That's really what, when you get into the Illuminati discussions, like the Illuminati, that's really what you're talking about. And there's always going to be an element of secrecy, because the government doesn't meet in public, and they shouldn't. So
Nope.
whenever something is hidden or whenever something is unknown, you know how the human imagination is. We're gonna fill in the gaps. So it's but the actual history is interesting. The intrigue, like said, was talking about the court and how, you know what I mean, just the politics and how they maneuvered and how they moved. Is deep. They was ruthless. They was
I
ruthless.
mean, spies and espionage and counterintelligence all. But like when you hear the statement, there is nothing new under the sun. It literally is a matter of fact. Caesar said, "By means of bureaucracy, I would exist throughout history." I mean, these are matters of fact. These things hasn't changed much in the way the world is run, right? So to that point that Solomon was making about how these geopolitical figures meet and discuss in secret and in private, nothing new under the sun. This is the way the world has always worked.
Yep. Yep. And it's not always like nefarious, or that's just, once organizations get to a certain size, that's what you got to do. It's easy to have a lemonade stand, but it's a big difference between having a lemonade stand and a corporation that sells lemonade. You know what I mean? Lemonade
Mhm.
stand, you could do that. You could fly, you could do it, you could freestyle that. You don't gotta have no norms, you ain't gotta have no problem. You could just do whatever you want to do on any given day. But once you start getting to a a certain level to distribute the lemonade, to market the lemonade, that takes a team of people, and that those people have to be coordinated. So now I just use that lemonade as an illustration. So now when you're talking about an entire government, yeah, of course it's going to be secret meetings and people going to have agendas, and this, and some people not going to be happy with their role, and other people is going to be extra ambitious, and some people going to be true believers, and then some people going to be cutthroats and out for self. So that's just the dynamic of human natures and humans
Yep.
coming together to try to get shit done.
Yep. Yep. Every point you made is factual. Again, human nature gonna dictate that we don't know, so we fill in the blanks, and again, you have entities like Alex Jones and these conspiracy buffs that lead us down rabbit holes because we don't apply critical thinking, uh, rationality. As human beings, we are predominantly irrational. So to bite on these conspiracy theories is quite easy.
Oh yeah, and you know what else, Seti? You know what I was recently thinking about. I was like, yo, we have, like, it's a paradox. It's so much information available. We got it at our fingertips. We can literally research anything, but we have two limitations. Practically, we got to get our daily bread. We want to have fun. We got to deal with our family. We got to deal with our jobs. So it's a time limitation. It's only so much that we can learn about multiple topics. It's only so much we can do. We can't, you know what I mean? You may become an expert at your job, but outside of that, it's not many people that's really knowledgeable in more than one subject. So that's the thing. And two, on an evolutionary level, quite honestly, I don't think our brains have like the information age, our brain, our physiology, we got to catch up to this. Our physiology not ready to deal with all this stuff. So we
I
at the frontier right now. So we at the point where we trying to figure all this stuff out. It's so much
I
going on, and you know what I mean. And we literally gonna have to catch up with this because our brains are bombarded, and it's already starting to show psychological effects in the kids. They starting to say, when certain they starting to gauge like anxiety and things like that, and they starting to tie it to screen time, and you know what I mean, just things in general. And it's like the stuff about this internet that we didn't really foresee, that's really taking people, mentally through for a loop. And I just think that that's just our brains, our bodies are physically not equipped to deal with all this stuff.
I tend to agree now. I'm gonna take us back a couple of years when we were dealing with that situation that was happening internationally, and I made a statement a couple of times. I understand why the Masons and these secret societies existed, because there is a process to acquiring knowledge and understanding information. You don't just dive off the deep end, right, and think you're gonna grasp certain stuff. There are steps required to getting there, right? Even as a biochemical tech, the steps through high school and then in my college, and then you see the reason why certain things were done in high school and taught a certain way in high school, because you needed that premise to grasp the next level of information, of understanding, of knowledge, right? So we understand that within academia, things are explained in certain ways to build foundations to grasp what's coming up on top of that. So a teacher would purposely not give you the full package, right? Because
Mm.
it is steps required to get in there. So now what we have is what was hidden behind college doors, and the steps required to get to that information is now at everyone's fingertips.
Mm.
So you're engaging with a level of information that you have not been equipped or grown to be to engage with, and now you have the freedom to engage with any subject at any level. And Dunning Kruger proves that most people do not know when they do not know. So you think you understand it, but there are steps required to get in there. So misinformation becomes becomes rampant. Conspiracy theories become get fueled, and you have a sort of a reverse effect. So with more information, we have people that are less knowledgeable.
So there, we covered a lot of topics tonight. I think it was very interesting. Actually, like the Medici family, the Italian family, they were wild as hell. They started off as bankers and businessmen, and they just kept moving forward. They all got like mixed parentage and all like that. They mixed with. They had no problem with in some regards um, having children by other ethnic groups. Um, Nevertheless, that's not the one. I just want y'all to know. I found that family to be fascinating at the time that they were in power and how they rose to power. I think we covered a lot.
Alessandro, that was the Black Medici. I think that's his name. The
Yeah,
Duke.
yeah, he's the one who they don't they question which one was the father. It was either the Pope or the Pope's nephew, and his mother was either a servant slash slave or was the result of a campaign, and it was you know a military campaign, and they came across a woman. But he's called the Moro.
And
Um,
to everything Cedric was saying, that's where Diderot becomes so important with the formation of his encyclopedia. And it goes into a lot of subjects could be covered just studying the formation of his encyclopedia, from the French Revolution to the attack on theologians. My son is getting at me, y'all. My fault. But the attack on theologians and the Catholics and the church powers at the time. This gets into sourcing, and a lot of stuff is hidden within just forming the encyclopedia, something we take for granted. And it was intended to spread not all knowledge, not just a particular subject point, but as much knowledge as possible to the masses of people. He's an important figure. We talk about wiki, but there is no wiki without Diderot, and that's something we should be at least introduced to. You don't have to study it in depth, because I get it, everybody's not going to be fascinated by this stuff, but that's an important figure in history.
I feel you. We may touch on it, Voxer. We got a lot of stuff me and you supposed to discuss.
Yeah, all that's going to have to wait until Juju sees me at this damn domino table, though. Chill.
Yeah, I
Uh,
knew it was coming. I was just waiting.
Did somebody say dominoes?
yes, sir.
Hey, from the Caribbean, baby. Let's do it.
They what you can find it. Let me just say it this way: the secret societies aren't a European creation. They have it in all groups of people, ethnic groups or whatever. Some of it may just be based in skilled labor, in a sense that you may have hunters guilds, and they have their own rituals behind before they go on a hunt, and so forth and so on, that they don't allow other people to see. Um, and so that's just a human thing. Seeing patterns, recognizing patterns, whether they're intentional or unintentional, is an evolutionary thing. Our brains evolved to see patterns so that they can make quicker predictions, and so that the energy cost is less when you're able to easily compress images and ideas together, so that you can make better predictions in your brain. Perception, and all that. So that's part of the evolutionary process. I think we covered a lot in that. And so when in today's society, these same mechanisms that were used to survive and to develop healthy societies, right, has somewhat run rampant. So you got things like Pizzagate, where you talk about Hillary Clinton and kidnapping little babies and doing all types of stuff with them in the basement of a pizza shop, right? Or you have the we never went to the moon, et cetera, et cetera. You got the Abels, that's their thing, that the conspiracy theory that people from the 15 and 1600s somehow or another was able to deceive the people of the 20th century deliberately, knowing what they would do and how they would do it. The flat earthers. So the Illuminati is just another one of those conspiracy theories that happen to run rampant in a lot of conversations. But the bottom line is that as in all conspiracy theories, or at least most of them, I always question and wonder, how do you on the internet know what these people are doing in these secret societies, right? How did you get the information? Where did that come from? And so we're about to close out. Anybody got some final words? Y'all can go ahead and get them in now, and then we'll close on out the show. Let me let everybody know. Sunday we back on the Brain Show, so we'll be doing the Brain Show this Sunday. Check us out. It's going to be an interesting show. I think it's the deceptive perception of the brain or something like that. So we're going to talk about how the brain organizes things and how sometimes that organization can be deceptive. So we're going to talk about that. But yeah, go ahead and close out. Anonymous Free, you want to close out? You got something you want to say? Okay. Gideon Block, you got something you want to add?
Hey. Yeah, bro. Great build. Appreciate it. I kind of missed out some of the show because I got a phone call, but yeah. And as far as what you last summed up, that's right about it, bro. Can't let the conspiracies overrun you, you know?
Yeah.
For real.
Vasi.
This piece, and thanks for letting me on the panel. Good conversation.
Sure.
Always stolen mine. I guess he out too. He spooked out too. He's one of the ones who got the conspiracy running wild in his mind. He got a conspiracy about the origins of the HIV virus that leads to AIDS. We just heard him give this long diatribe about the Bilderbergs and these magical people who run the world, who have meetings that somehow or another people are able to take pictures of, who gather together to make decisions, but no one knows what they're talking about. Somehow or another, the internet knows that this group exists, and somehow or another, we know what they're really trying to do, but it's supposed to be a secret society. Makes no sense. Best way to keep a secret is how? Keep it to yourself. So why would they allow y'all to videotape them going into a meeting if it's supposed to be a secret meeting? Foolishness. Anyway, we appreciate everybody who came out. Listen to this quick build on Illuminati conspiracy theories. We'll get back to it, give more information coming soon. Once we get back to the depth of expertise, talk about how conspiracies build upon each other and what some of the methods that make it hard to actually combat conspiracy theories from a rationality point. So yeah, we appreciate everybody who came out. Glad whoever hit the panel, man. We appreciate everybody, man. Show some love to the modders, to the pseudo killers. Check out the Discord. We got some great shows coming up. Hopefully y'all can be able to attend and hit it up. You know what I mean? So I appreciate everybody who showed up. All right, Juju, we done.
Big up, stop playing.
Running my city, my niggas on lookout. Cap ass nigga, he lie by the mill now. Oof, and then he a pill now. Smoking on, ain't nobody can see now. Trapping state to state, bitch, I'm in the Greyhound. Remember them long nights at the playground.
I remember them long nights at the playground. I was down bad, I had to stay down. You lose your life, you better stop playing around. I ain't had nothing, got it straight from the ground. I was patiently waiting, but I want that shit now. They lied to you, they don't care if it's foul. Got me a bucket and one in the foul. They was faking they love, but I'm mad that I'm seeing it now.
Freedom in. Hit a lick on my brother, re-trap on the low. All my niggas just ain't with a scope. Got all of my niggas be ready to go.
What happened is stay in the flow. This ain't no competition, they was running too slow. I do it for time, you already know. Delusional vision, I'm really trying to chase my goals. I had to cut off the hose. I gotta make that shit happen cause I know that I'm chosen. I'm locked in and focused, no I ain't dozing. I know that I'm special, man, I got the post. Man, I'm taking off, man, I'm coasting. I'm real live a sneaky bucket like the Rosen. I'm taking they spot and I'm all on notice. I'm getting the bar and I'm scoring, but they already know this. It's crunch time, I ain't choking. For real, I feel like I'm shocking the pain cause I'm ducking and posting.
I be running my city, my niggas on lookout. Cap ass nigga, he lie by the mill now. Oof, and then he a pill now. Smoking on, ain't nobody can see now. Trapping state to state, bitch, I'm in the Greyhound. Remember them long nights at the playground. Trapping state to state, bitch, I'm in the Greyhound. Remember them long nights at the playground. Don't play with the game, nigga, you gon' get wet. My killer invisible, he silhouette. Got Drake in the back of that nigga a vet. And I'm with my brother, I ain't playing no chess. Let me rest in peace, RJ, put him to rest. My nigga a dog, my nigga a vet.